Hi guys, hi, hello, how are you? Today we're going to be crocheting something. Now, I'm currently working on 3 different projects, but I felt like this was perfect for summer and summer is ending, so I gotta do it now. I ordered this yarn online. It looked orange. The color is mango. I thought it was orange. It came in and it's coral. So I had to rethink what I was going to use it for. And I thought, I'll make a little lobster. He's not gonna be too little, but I'm gonna make a lobster. So today we're making a fluffy lobster. This is the Premier Little Bunny. Like I said, it's the color mango, but it's more of a coral color. The recommended size hook is an 8, but that feels really big for how small the yarn is. So I'll probably be using a 6, but if that really doesn't work, I'll be using a 6.5 millimeter. We'll see. I'll start with the 6. I will update if I change my mind. This will require sewing, so you will need a crochet needle. And you'll either need something to embroider eyes or eyes, aka like safety eyes. I haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. We will start with the magic ring. Now, I am not very good at the traditional way to do the magic ring, so I will be doing 4. Then I put my hook into the first one, pull all the way through, and I have a little circle. Now I do need to go get stitch markers because that is very important if you are using fluffy yarn like I am. This is my first time using the Little Bunny Premier yarn. I have used the Dollar Tree Premier yarn and it worked out pretty well. So let me go get stitch markers and we'll start. All right, so we are going to do 8 stitches into the center. Can't really tell, but there is kind of the center of it. And we'll just do 8 all the way around. For this, I generally do not use my stitch marker quite yet because I just don't. But that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I did 8 because I know some people do 6, sometimes you do 8 because of where it ends. See, we got a perfect circle. If you used a yarn and 6 came back to your first stitch, then you only need 6, and then we're going to do a single crochet right here for our first. I would call this my first official round, but this, I guess, depending on who you ask, might be your second. Let me put my stitch marker in there, and then I'm going to put a stitch back into that same one. So I have 2 and 1 here, and then go into the next one. Then the next one I will go in to here. I can find it. Fluffy yarn when you first start out can be a little difficult, and I'm going to put 2 stitches into that same one, then a single stitch, then 2, then 1, until we get all the way back around to the first one. I removed my stitch marker, and I'm going to do 2 into the next one for my pinion. Around 2, go 2 into the first one, release some yarn here, then we go into the next one, 1, then into the next one so we go 2 into 1, then 1, 2, then 2 into the next one, then 2 single crochets all the way around. Because of the shape I want, this time I am going to do 2 into this first stitch here. Make sure I stay on camera. So there's my first one, mark that, and then my second one into the same spot. And then I'm gonna just go 1, then 2 into this one, which I guess is a little unconventional, but you know what? This is the shape I want. So I'm gonna do 1, then 2. This is a way I also tend to, if my yarn starts to kind of curl up like it is, probably because of the size hook I'm using, because I want my yarn nice and tight, this is a good way to flatten your yarn back out too. Since I want him to have kind of like a nice flat front head here, this is the best way to do that. We have a nice flat circle here now, and now we'll go back to going 1 into here, our stitch marker, then another in to the same stitch, and then go back to the pattern we were going to follow. So 1, then 2, then back into this one for 2, 1, 2, then a single stitch into one, a single stitch into the next one, then 2 stitches into the same one all the way to the end. We're gonna keep going up, so we'll put 2 into the first stitch, 1, 2, 3, then 2 into the next stitch, 1, 2, 3 single stitches, all the way back to the start. This round we're gonna put 2 into the first stitch, then 1, 2, 3, 4 single stitches across, then 2 into the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way back to the start. I am back home, so this is going to be my last row of expanding here. Let me get my yarn situated. We're gonna put our first one, there we go. That's our first stitch. And then like the last few rounds, I'm going to put another one into that. And then, lost my yarn here. Then I'm gonna go 1, into the next one, 2, to the next one, 3, into the next one, 4, into the next one, 5, and then into the next one of 6. Then we're gonna go into the next, do a stitch, and then go into that same one, do a stitch, then 6, then the double, then 6, all the way back around. Now that I've made it back around, I am not expanding anymore. I am just going to do a single crochet all the way around. So I'm still gonna keep my first stitch here, but I'm just gonna go to each and do a single crochet all the way around this until I get to my desired length of this, which I will keep track of how many rounds I do, and when I come back to start to reduce, I will tell you how many rounds I've done. I did 18 rows of just straight going across, not expanding, not decreasing. Did 18 rows. I have this much left of my first skein of yarn, so I will be jumping into this one, but I'm going to start slowly decreasing because I have a pretty big lobster right here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and add the eyes just because, I don't know, I kind of want to add eyes. I don't really know what will be the correct size. Actually, you know what, that feels right. That just feels right. Now you could embroider eyes. You can do the other, where they're like felt eyes. I'm gonna do, little, whatever these are called. I'm very professional. Safety eyes. All right, so I'm gonna do these safety eyes. I don't know, there's just something so charming once you add eyes. So I think that looks good. I'm gonna attach the eyes. Make sure like it looks good when it's all stuffed up. He looks like a little fish. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave them there. I'm gonna attach them and then we're gonna start our decreasing. I actually lied. I'm not decreasing yet because I am going to make his front claws first, because it'll be easier now before I get more body to sew it together. And I may add little, like, you know how like lobsters have like little things here. I might add those. I have not decided. I have to kind of workshop it a little bit, as well as the claws. So I'm gonna make one claw and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I made that claw. So for the claws, you're going to need to do 4 of these. This is how I'm personally doing it. So I'm gonna do a top and a bottom, stitch it together, then a top and a bottom, and stitching it together. I'm gonna have a nice long tail, and then I'm gonna do a starting chain of 10. I'm going to skip my first one, go into the next one, and crochet all the way down. Now, if you can create better claws than I can, you are more than welcome to. This definitely isn't my strong suit, but that's okay. You know what? Because I came out here, I made it, I did it all by myself, and I feel like that's something worthy of being proud of in general. So we started with 10, that's 6, 7, 8, oops, go into the right spot, 8, then 9, oops. I know this is going to be a little bit of like a long part, so I can make sure. This is the part that I guess needs a little more time put into it. All right, so 9 is our first row. Then we're going to flip our crochet and we're going to do 9 again for the second row. I'll save you guys watching me do this. That is the end of row 2. This is going to be kind of my larger claw, and then we're going to have the smaller claw. So I'm just going to do 9 again for row 3. For row 4, I will not be doing the full 9. Let's see what we're to do here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're gonna flip our yarn here. No, let's actually go one more. So we'll do 8, and we'll skip 1, flip our yarn, then skip 1. So we'll only do 7 this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now for mine personally, I'm not gonna do like a sharp claw. He's gonna have more of like mittens. So there is that. And then it's gonna fight me on this last one here, but whatever. Now we're going to shift to make his little other claw, and for mine, his claws are gonna be small. But I thought that would just be kind of cute to give him small claws. And I'm not gonna do a little arm because that kind of makes it, personally, I could do that. You can do that if you don't want to just have his claws out of his body. If you want to do anatomically correct, you can just do a little arm. I don't think I am. I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna make his claws, then decide, but for right now, we're going to make claws. Let me move his face back. So I got my 7th stitch in there. It stopped fighting me. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to flip my yarn. Go 1, 2. Once it stops fighting me, 3. But I'm gonna put that into there. And I'm gonna put another stitch into here. I know this probably doesn't make quite a lot of sense. So I did 3 single stitches out, flipped it, 3 in, and on my third one, instead of finishing it, I attached it to here did another single stitch into there, and then I'm gonna do another stitch into here, and now I'm gonna turn it around, do some single crochet down into there. So I did a couple stitches that way, and then when I stitch it together, which I'll show you guys, I'm just gonna pinch that there. So it kind of has like almost heart-shaped claws. I know that was really unnecessarily complicated, but that is how I did my claw. And now I just have to make 3 more, and like I said, I'll attach it like that, and then he'll have little claws like so. Oh, you can't really see him. Like I said, I haven't decided if I'm gonna do like little arms. He's gonna be a chunky lobster, so I'm kind of feeling like he needs just little chunky claws. So we're gonna stick with that for right now. Once you have all your claw pieces, you want to stitch them together and stuff them. We are going to get back into the body. I have attached his little claws. You can add, which I think I already said, you can add his little things up here. I don't know what they're called. I know on snails they're called tentacles, so maybe they're called that on lobsters, or slugs and snails. But, or you could add his extra legs. I'm undecided if I'm gonna add his little spider legs or not, or if he's just gonna be like a chunky guy with just murder mittens here. I've not decided. But we're going to start reducing. Here is my first stitch, so I'm going to move that. Basically, to reduce, we're going to go into our first stitch, maybe, there we go, and then go into the second stitch to create 1 single stitch. And now this is really up to you on how long you want your lobster to be. If you want to very gradually reduce, like very slowly, and make him longer, you're gonna obviously want to do more like that, and then 15 maybe, however many you feel, because however many you do is obviously going to be comparable to how many more rows you do. If you want him to be short and stubby, I would only do a few. But I think I'm gonna go with 15 to start and just kind of see how that goes, because I do want to make him big, but not too big. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then just for, you know, being repetitive, gonna go into the first one, into the second one, pull loops through, and create a single stitch. Then do 15, do the same thing, go all the way around. And you can do this a couple of different ways. Like I said, you could either do that same amount twice. You could do 14, which I'm going to do 15, then 14, then 13, then 12. I will probably hop in and do like very, very short clips just to keep it going. I went all the way around, and this time I'm going to put a single stitch in a 2. So go through the first one, go through the second one, pull all the way through, 14 single stitches, do the same, and then go all the way around back to our starting. I'm back to the start, so I'm gonna do the same thing as last time, put a stitch, 2 stitches into one, then this time I'll do 13 and go all the way around. We're gonna keep reducing, 2 stitches into a single, 12, 2, 12, 2, all the way back around. Keeping with the same pattern, except this time instead of 12, it will be 11. Now it'll be 10. Now keeping up with the pattern, 2 stitches into one, then 9, go all the way around. And keep going. Instead of 9, we'll do 8. For this round, instead of 8, we'll do 7. I want to narrow and reduce more than my pattern is so far doing. So I'm going to, instead of 6, I'm going to go down to 5. So I'm going to put 2 stitches into 1, 5, then 2 stitches into 1 all the way around. Like the last time, I want to reduce more. So instead of going down to 4, I will be going down to 3. So I'll be putting 2 stitches into 1, and then I'll go 1, 2, 3, then the same all the way around to reduce further. Now I'm going to go 2 stitches into 1, 2, 2 stitches into 1, 2 single stitches all the way around, and then we're going to stuff. He is stuffed now, so now I'm going to get to where we're sealing him up. So we're going to do the 2 stitches into 1, then 2 all the way around. Now I'm going to put 2 stitches into 1 and every one all the way around. This is a little close up, but I did all that. I cut my yarn in a decent length here and did not pull the yarn through like I almost did. Uh-oh, I'm unweaving my work here. Hold on. Pull your yarn all the way through so you don't unweave it like I just almost did. Now, typically I take this, weave all the way around. Oh, you can't see. I take my yarn here. Uh-oh, did I lose my crochet needle? Oh, there it is. I take my tail here, go into each spot and weave all the way around and then pull. But just because of the shape, I'm actually just going to do it a little bit differently to close the hole. If I can get my yarn stuck. I'm going to weave this way. Like I said, it's not going to be too different, and then all the way through to the other side. Then weave this way. Then all the way through to the other side. Now I'm going to keep my yarn out as well. Make sure it's sealed off there. All right, and then I'm gonna not weave this yarn in yet because obviously I have to attach his little tail. For the tail, I want to do kind of like a triangle shape. So, starting chain of 15, and then we're not gonna go in the first one, but go into the second one and go all the way across for our first row. Row 1 was 14. Now for row 2, I'm going to flip my yarn. I'm not going into my first stitch, but I'll go into my second stitch and then into my third stitch. So I have 3 on, pull my yarn all the way through, and then go across for 2, 3, 4, it's gonna fight me. We have 12 across here because I'm not going to put into the last stitch. I'm going to flip my yarn, skip my first stitch, go into the second stitch and the third stitch, pull through creating 1, then 2, then 3, going all the way down. So there's 10 on this row, and then going to flip my yarn, skip the first stitch, go into the second stitch and the third stitch again, and go all the way down. The next row was 8, and we're gonna, once again, turn our work, skip the first one, go into the second and the third, and then keep going down. That row was 6, and it perfectly fits along the base of my lobster. So I'm going to make one more of these to make it 3D for me to attach and stuff. I have a stuffed and ready to attach tail, and then we'll be done. All right, so just so we can see, this is how much yarn I have left. I'm gonna reveal Mr. Lobster in a second, but I wanted to show you guys how much yarn I have left. So this literally took less than 2 skeins of fluffy yarn, which is great. And here it is, the finished product. Here's his claws. Here's his cute little face. Here's his little tail. He's pretty big, and he is just a big, cuddly lobster. I think I'm gonna call him Cuddle Lobster, like as the type, but for names, I'm thinking of Ketchup because his color just really makes me think of ketchup. If you have a better name, definitely let me know down below, and let me know what you would name your Cuddle Lobster if you had one. But yeah, there he is. If you guys enjoyed, please give this video a thumbs up. if you love crochet, definitely hang around and subscribe. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!